I'll try to make this one pretty short. I don't have a client play or anything. I quote unquote lean Iowa State plus 15. That's the line. They're at Iowa. My number basically makes it right there. Actually, I think I have it at 15 and a half or 16, so it's a little bit above the current line. But it's one of those games where, and I rarely will bet against like what the numbers say. Mostly analytical, even though I like tout out that I have a master's degree in sports psychology and that. Sure, it's there to use as best as I can in any ways I can, but the base of anything I do is the numbers and analytics. So uh, basing off that, that's why I'm not making any official play. But looking back at the last few years, I think 5 or 6 in a row. This game's been under 2 touchdowns every time. Last year, it was tied with 5 minutes left. Iowa scored to go up seven, and then like pick six, I think, or a fumble six at the buzzer to go and win by 14. But even that game, like Iowa almost lost. The Iowa team that went to the Big Ten championship game and made a real splash on the national scene. They almost lost Iowa State earlier in the year. It's just a game that always is played close. They're rivals, and definitely is a rivalry that Iowa State takes a lot more seriously than Iowa does. Iowa's like, yeah, we need to beat them, but we're worried about Ohio State, Michigan, Michigan State, Wisconsin, Nebraska, those teams in the conference. So I think gives the Cyclones just a little bit of an extra edge there. Um, yeah, for me, it's Iowa State or nothing. If you bet Iowa and they just roll and cover, um, congrats. I don't know how. I'm looking something up on my phone, so if you're wondering why I'm looking down, I wanted to look up a stat. I just don't see how you can lay Iowa right now, especially after what I was getting at here is week one against Miami of Ohio. Uh, I have some logs that I have here. Saturday recap. Anyways, they were like 27 and a half, 28 point favorites, depending on when you bet it. But it was like miraculous. They covered. They didn't cover. Sorry, Miami, Ohio covered. Iowa lost the ATS bet, but they won the game by 24. But it really was way closer than 24 points. Iowa was outgained in that game. They won the game by 24 and had less yards than Miami of Ohio. All right, they were outgained by 20 yards. They had 8 less first downs. Okay, uh, and ultimately the 3 turnovers that Miami of Ohio had, Iowa scored TDs after all three. So essentially, you take away those 21 points. Iowa won a game that was about even by three, which they definitely should have. Being at home and playing a weaker team. But when you actually run the numbers, like that should have been a lot closer game. Credit Iowa for obviously capitalizing on turnovers. That's part of the football game. But dangerous team to bet on. I don't know a single person that should be laying this because the numbers basically spot on, but everything else points to Iowa State. There's no no one I know that's like, ooh, it's short 5 points. And for those that care, I bet Iowa State at the opener at plus 18. Doesn't exist anymore, but I did bet that one because I think getting over the 17 is was plenty valuable. So, anyways, that was that. I wanted to read that off for you because that was one of the weirder box scores that most people probably didn't even know about. Iowa should have lost, or at least won a close game by three. When you take away those couple mistakes from Miami, Ohio, but they were really outplayed otherwise. Turnover battle won them the game. So pass on this game for me, but strong lean to Iowa State.